Hi, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Singer Ed Sheeran is facing off in court over the Marvin Gaye classic, Let's Get It On. Ed Townsend co-wrote the song, and his heirs are suing Sheeran over the song, Thinking Out Loud. The family says it violates their copyright, highlighting when Sheeran performed the two songs together on stage. Last year, Sheeran successfully fought a lawsuit that accused him of infringement regarding another of his hits, Shape of You. The latest movie trailer for The Flash shows the speedy superhero getting help from Supergirl and at least one Batman. Worlds collide when The Flash zips into theaters June 16th. The Flash stars Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Michael Shannon, and Sasha Calle. The film was originally meant to come out 5 years ago, but was delayed. Ezra Miller's recent legal troubles delayed the film even more. The Flash is scheduled to hit theaters in mid-June. Disney is bringing the 1953 classic Peter Pan and Wendy back to fans. The new film is more inclusive. Instead of an island full of lost boys, there are also some girls in Peter Pan's Neverland bunch, and Blackish star Yara Shahidi plays Peter's friend Tinkerbell. She's the first Black woman to portray the fairy on screen. We caught up with Shahidi and Jude Law at the New York premiere.
Peter Pan for me is one of those stories that I don't even remember when I heard it for the first time. I just feel like I've always known it. And so it's cool to reprise a character that lives so large in our imaginations and in our lives. She buzzes around at the beginning of every Disney movie and kicks them off. And so it's really special to be able to play a character that I think I've truly grown up with.
That David wrote with Toby Holbrooks was that he wanted to dig a little deeper into why Hook was the way he was. And so I suppose adding a little three-dimension, adding a little backstory really gave me a chance to recognize or draw out the damage. And I wanted to plant him very firmly in and understand him as a real person. And not just as the villain, so I hope that would make him therefore a little more scary, a little more sympathetic, and at times funny.
And get ready for season 3 of the critically acclaimed HBO Max original comedy series, The Other Two. In this season, Brooke and Carrie are finally standing on their own 2 feet, and after years of comparing themselves to their pop star brother and talk show host mom, they are again comparing themselves to new people. I spoke with Molly Shannon and Ken Marino about where they find themselves in season 3.
And Molly, would you talk a bit about this idea of Uber success, where Pat can't leave her house, or if she does, she's got to elude her security detail in increasingly creative ways, I might add. But it is funny, but also it's a little kind of sad to watch her have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Pat has reached alien level fame, and she now has an empire. And I think, right, she's feeling a little like, oh, she didn't realize that it would be so hard to just go outside and take a walk, or something simple. Her whole life changed. And so she's figuring out how to deal with being in the public eye so much more and with so much more fame. I think it wasn't what she imagined.
Well, thank you. And Ken, it's kind of to that end, the show does this incredible job of kind of taking on Hollywood and sides of the business that are maybe, a little problematic or questionable. I mean, the whole episode with Streeter and Brooke driving across country with this one thumb drive with a photograph on it,
right,
is hilarious, but not really that outrageous and
not that far-fetched. I mean, and
right.
I think that's what Chris and Sarah do so well, is they ride that line of absurdity, but is it that absurd? Because this town and what goes on is pretty nuts. And so there's a lot of truth to that episode and the insanity of it. I mean, when I read that episode, I was like, that's the perfect Other Two kind of tone, where it is outrageous, but somehow exactly what's going on in the world today.
And you play a mom, and what is it like for Pat to watch her children kind of, you have to let them fail, but they continually kind of do, and then they have to get back up. So would you talk about playing that part of Pat and this woman who's watching her children kind of struggle to figure out where they fit in the world?
Yeah, well, it's yes, Pat is trying to watch out for her children. She's handling her own career, but yet she's also managing and handling the career of her children and making sure they're okay. Brooke and Carrie, her two kids, are actually doing better than ever at this point in their life. As we cut to 3 years ahead, they're having a lot of success. They're a little more in control. And then my son Chase is navigating turning 18 and what that means in terms of show business and having a little more independence. So Pat, being a mom from Ohio that knew nothing about show business or, living in the public eye, has really gotten quite savvy. And so, but at the end of the day, she really just cares about family more than anything. So you see my character always going back to that, never wanting to lose sight of what's the most important to her, and that is making sure the family's still together, connected, knowing what's going on in one another's lives. And that's like always her drive that hovers above all work and fame and everything like that, money, power. Yeah.
So, I work with The Advocate, which is LGBTQ plus media. We're always talking about chosen family. And I think the show really models that in a great way. Would you talk, Ken, about that aspect of the series and having Streeter having that kind of chosen family that he's brought into?
Well, in terms of the Dubeck family is very accepting of my character, reluctantly at first, but they do sort of take him in and accept him, and it just, there are the characters. I feel like everybody in this show is some part of the extended family of the Dubecks. Josh's character, Lance, or Curtis and Shuli, like they're all sort of interwoven into this. They've become interwoven into this Dubeck family, and I don't know. It just, there's a warmth to how Chris and Sarah approach the kind of creating these characters and this world, and it's very accepting and loving, and that's sort of. So when they do something like that, they're able to sort of also, lean into the other direction of just crazy, outrageous, absurd scenes, because you create this really real, warm connection between these characters.
And you've been a part of some projects that have been meaningful to the queer community, and now you're in this series, which is really lovely, kind of where Carrie just gets to be a gay man, and it's not a meal made out of it, but it is important to have that visibility. And would you talk about what it means to you to be a part of a project where there is this visibility that at the end of the day is still very important?
It's so important. And I think Chris and Sarah have their interest is being able to tell LGBTQ stories that have not been told. So they're really wanting to tell them in kind of an original way. And I think, stories that have not been seen a million times, but different stories. And I think just being a part of that is just such an honor. I did Other People with Chris Kelly, obviously. I did Emily Dickinson with Madeline Olnek.
Right, I totally that was a great film. Yes.
Oh my God, thank you. So telling LGBTQ stories is so important to me. I wrote a memoir about my father, who was closeted homosexual and then came out to me before he died. And so these are matters very close to my own heart.
Season 2 was nominated for Best Comedy Series by the Critics' Choice Awards. Season 3 of The Other Two debuts on Thursday, May 4th on HBO Max. That's all for this episode of Equal Entertainment. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Thank you for watching.